Hi, everyone. Happy Sunday. I hope you're having the opportunity to enjoy some of this beautiful weather. Hard to believe that this is the third week in January and we are enjoying what I would say is more April weather, but I'm not complaining. Okay, so we're a couple days into the course. I hope you've had an opportunity to review the syllabus and read the articles. So I will be uploading the first forum for discussion. And this will be due on Thursday night for your original post, and then Sunday for your two responses. The way I do the syllabus is it builds. I will post a week or two at a time. I don't, because it's an online course, it's like what you're getting if you were in the classroom. So assignments, come, and this course is built with a lot of little assignments, not one big paper. So we will build up to the assignments, and Moodle will build itself. Okay. So this is this week's, reading and assignment coming up. So I hope you've had a chance to do the readings. If you haven't had a chance to do the readings, I would not open up the forum discussion until you've had a chance to read over the material. Also, I have not heard from everyone in the course with a text message. So if you have watched the video and read over the syllabus, would you please shoot me a text so I know that you are logged in and doing what you need to do. It's the only way that I know how to keep track is occasionally I'm going to ask you to touch base with me so that I'm sure that people aren't, dropping out or getting lost, along the way. Okay, so if I ask you to shoot me a text, please do. Okay, so the readings for today or for this week, were a series of readings related to taking a sexual history. And there was the main article, which was the relationship of human sexuality to social work practice. And that is an important article as we get started this course. I know that some of you may be taking this course because you're interested in the topic. Hooray. Some of you may be taking this course because you've had another course with me and you might like my teaching style or feel that I have something to offer, and I hope I can continue that. And then there are some, I think, that are taking this course because it was the only thing offered online, and so by default you're here. So if that's who you are and why you're here, I hope maybe you shared a little bit about that in your getting to know you. I'll be reading over those tomorrow and the next day. But I hope that I can make this course something of interest to you and certainly useful for you in your professional practice going forward. So if you fall into that camp, I welcome you, and I hope that 14 weeks from now you're saying that this was a worthwhile and positive experience. Okay, so into the readings. I want to talk first about the article on social work practice and sexuality. There are a couple key things that I want to make sure that you took out of that article. In the very beginning, it talked about when we are looking at issues of human sexuality in our practice, we need to understand the influence of scope, surveillance, and social control. They were three key words in the beginning of that article. Scope meaning, how big is this issue in terms of its influence in our practice and influence in society? What is its connection between the work that we do and the client that we're seeing and the scope of their issues related to human sexuality. The next was surveillance, and that relates then to social control, which is who gets to decide. A couple key questions. Who gets to decide what's okay and what's not okay? How do we measure that and know how much of something is happening? And then who controls that and how is it controlled? So if you think of things like sexuality education in schools, contraception, abortion, marriage counseling that addresses issues of sexuality, transgendered, all of those, reparative therapy or transition therapy, where there's a group of people who say it's not okay to be gay. Who gets to decide that? How many people are counted in need of that? And who gets to decide what services are needed? Early in my career, I worked with people with HIV. You know, who was stepping up to provide services? Who decided what services were needed? How much services were going to be available? Even to the point of medications, how fast medications got pushed through the approval process at that point in time. What other conditions, infertility, who decides that infertility deserves funding and research for treatment. 40 years ago, if you were unable to conceive a child, either because the female had reasons or the male had reasons, there was very little that could be done about that. That's a new and evolving field of practice. Who got to decide that needed attention? Someone decided the scope and studied that and then decided that this was something we wanted to put resources into. So those are issues that we're going to talk about throughout the course. We certainly are going to look at issues of social control. And as I think I said in my opening video, I recognize that all of us come from various backgrounds to this course, and I respect whatever background and opinion and point of view that you have. I just ask that you be willing to look at multiple sides. If you are very pro-choice, that you understand that some in the course are not, and are going to be very pro-life. And that as social workers and in our profession, that certainly is one topic that we run the gamut. When I was going to school at Marywood, there was a student in my cohort who was getting his degree in order to do reparative therapy, conversion therapy. That was very difficult for me as a young gay woman in class, that my classmates thought there was something wrong with me. Now this is something, 25 years later, the profession, has an opinion on this, but yet he continues to practice and write books and papers about reparative therapy, conversion therapy, and he's a licensed clinical social worker. So we need to understand that we come from various points of view and various backgrounds, and so will our clients. And how do we decide what we're comfortable to work with and what we're not comfortable to work with? How do we listen to others' opinions, etc.? So that from that article, I hope you took some of that. The other piece of that article is on page 416. There's a nice chart that talks about when we look at issues of human sexuality, we can look at it via population-based, adolescents, GLBTQI, sex offenders, racial and ethnic minorities, those with disabilities, women, older adults, social work students, whatever population we're studying. Or we can look at it as issue-based, child sexual abuse, sexual variance, HIV, STDs, infertility, healthcare, love and relationships, sex therapy, sexual communication, contraception, and a whole bunch of other stuff. So we're going to be covering a lot of that through this course. Okay. All right, so that takes me on to the main part of this week's assignment, and that is the sexual history questionnaire. So as part of the forum, you're going to open up a Word document that's going to have a series of 15 questions. As the instructions say, answer what you're comfortable to answer. And then save it as a Word document, or if you use something other than Word, please save it as a PDF so that everyone will be able to open it. Then you're going to open the forum, answer the other questions, upload your document as part of your forum, and that's it for Thursday. And then by Sunday night at midnight, you will respond to 2 of your classmates' share. So we start right out by jumping right into this sometimes difficult topic. There are no right or wrong answers. I'm not grading you on what you share, how much you share. I'm grading you on the lived experience of doing this forum, okay? And just in how we have conversation about the taking of a sexual history within ourselves and what we're comfortable to share, and with clients. So if you have any questions along the way, please reach out to me. If you want to talk about this, I'm here. Otherwise, go to it. And I hope you have a great week, and I will be in touch soon. Thanks.